from an undisclosed location under a farm pond somewhere in the Midwest. Your host is Jim Crowley. This is Slickfish Radio. Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Slickfish Radio. I am your host, Jim Crowley. So glad that you're going to join us tonight. And make sure when you start clicking on, let us know where you're at. Looking forward to tonight's show. We've got pro angler Randy Howell on tonight. So I'm really looking forward to talking to Randy. We're going to talk. He's got his big boat giveaway coming up soon from King's Home. Awesome charity. We're going to talk about his charity. I think this is like the 14th year that they are doing this. Pretty incredible to be giving a boat away for charity every year, and especially to King's Home. We'll talk about that with Randy and tell him, or actually let you all know what that charity is all about. It's a pretty awesome cause, and I'm glad Randy's on here tonight to talk about it. Have some things to read off for you, some more stuff to talk about tonight. But we are going to talk to Randy about that giveaway. I think it's November 16th. Yeah, I think that's next Saturday. So he's going to come on and talk to us here in a little bit about that. But I want to thank first and foremost all of you for joining us tonight. We're so glad that you're here with us. I also want to thank our friends over at Shields. Always a great store to stop in over there. So much going on. You know, waterfowl season is in full mode right now, man. So if you need stock up on shells, anything like that, Decoy Shields for sure has got that. Our friends over at Lure Parts Online, make sure you stay tuned to the end of the show tonight, because as usual, I'm going to give you a discount code for Lure Parts Online as well. Our friends over at Wired to Fish Coffee. Some of you have really been sending some nice comments and everything that you've tried Wired to Fish Coffee, and thank you so much for that. So I'm glad that you're so pleased with it. So we're going to give out a discount code for them as well tonight. Our friends over at Mudhole, I do have some stuff to tell you about Mudhole. They do have some sales going on at Mudhole right now. And so you've got 25% off of all American tackle and CRBG guide kits and tip tops. That includes the clearance stuff. And what started today or yesterday, 25% off on all CRB equipment and tools. So make sure you go on over to Mudhole. And if you're a new rod builder, and you want 10% off right away, go to mudhole.com, subscribe to their newsletter. You get 10% off on your first order. Cast King, as always, has a ton of sales going on right now. They always do. But you know what? Black Friday coming up and everything like that, they're going to have even more. We're going to give you a discount code at the end of the show for them as well. But there's a lot of great stuff. Some new reels for this year. The new tools, if you go to castking.com now and check out the new tools, oh my goodness. And the prices on those tools are unbelievable. Also, our friends over at Dakota Lithium, I know they're going to be having some sales as well. And again, stay tuned for the end of the show, because I'm going to be having a discount code for all of that. Now, a couple things coming up, or one thing coming up for sure, the high school conference in Missouri. I think this is the fourth annual, this third year that I'm doing it, coming up December 7th. So if you're in the St. Louis area over there, I'm sure some of your coaches over there, your high school teams, you know about the event over there. It's going to be awesome. Drew Gill's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Trey McKenney and a couple other speakers. So we're really looking forward to that. I think we had like 140 or 150 kids last year, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you and hopefully some more. We're going to have everybody is going to walk away with some fishing gear. I'm just telling you. On top of that, you've got about 5 seminars that day that all the high school kids are going to be going through. So that high school conference is awesome. So really looking forward to that. And then right after that, Christmas and then show season kicks off, and we're going to have some great specials deals, letting you know everything we're at. Lots going on. And to add to what's going on, I'm going to bring in this guy right over here. I'm going to bring in Mr. Randy Howell. How you doing, man?
God, it'd been so long.
That's okay, because I'm terrible at reading lips, dude. So I'm glad that you figured that out.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
glad, so glad
Good
to
be
have
with
you.
you.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I've always wanted to be on the show. We've been trying to do it for a while, and timing has finally worked out. It's so hard to ever get the right time to get in here when we're not on the road. So tonight's a good night to do it.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'm sure glad you're here. And let's get into this right away. I want to talk about the boat deal in a little bit. Uh, the giveaway for King's Home because this is your 14th year.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I want to go back just a little bit, and I do this with guys who haven't been on the show before. When did it's been a while now since you've been on these, but when did all this get started? Because you started tournament fishing rather young. When just for anybody who's been living under a rock, and some of the incredible career that you've had, when did all this start?
Man, I started way back, Jim. I mean, way back when I was actually started in high school when I was 17 years old, and first BASSMaster Invitational, and then I qualified for the first season when I was 18, and that was actually 1990, I think 1993, and I just turned 51 years old, so I've been doing it for I think 33 years now. So it's a long time.
Oh, good. Finally, I'm not the only guy who's been we're not old, man, we're seasoned. That's how I
That's
usually
right.
say
I'm a
that.
seasoned veteran. That's what they call me now. I used to be a grizzled. You was a young gun, then a grizzled veteran. Now I'm a seasoned veteran.
Right. Now you're a seasoned veteran. So,
Yeah,
you had some changes go on this year, and, it was a big deal with some guys coming back to the elites after Rick Clunn, retired, which, just fishing against him and knowing him all those years, that had to be, you're watching history in the making sometimes with him as well, and it was
yeah.
probably pretty cool to be able to do that. And but what is it? Can you talk a little bit about what led to your decision? Like, hey, I'm going to get back to the elites.
Yeah, I've really, I've enjoyed had a really good, run on Bassmaster over the years. Made 16 classics there in about 22 years or so, and won that classic in 14, and it was really great. But just the opportunities at the time, 6 years ago, when Major League Fishing and Bass Pro Tour started, my sponsors and just a lot of different things were pulling me to go that direction at the time. No entry fees at all, and just a lot more money in our pocket at the moment, and I knew when I left there that one of these days, I still in my heart, I said, I'll probably still come back to Bassmaster later. I kind of thought about it when my son, Laker, was working his way up behind me in the tournaments, fishing the opens, trying to make it the elites. And that was his goal. I knew ever since he started, he was going to want to be in the Bassmaster side because his dream was to get in that classic and try to win because he was in there in that boat when we pulled it around the arena
Yep.
in 2014 when he was 14 years old. So I knew I would come back, and I knew I had that pass to get back in. That was one of the big factors and blessings by winning the classic that gave you the opportunity to get back and do that. So I was really excited, and so now the thought of, I've been at every classic the last 6 years that I've
Yep.
not fished in. While I've been on Major League Fishing, I've worked every classic. I've sat in the arena and watched the winner every year and cried with every one of them because it's an emotional, awesome moment, biggest moment of your life in fishing. And so after watching Justin Hamner this year
Mhm.
win that, him being a kid that I had in the boat with me in the junior classic when he was like 14 years old,
That's cool.
and yeah, watching him win this year and all, and that emotion I felt in that arena, I just knew the time was right. I said I've got to get back, and that's when I put my name on the list at Bass, and had to fish 3 opens to be able to utilize that
Mhm.
spot. And basically, once they go down that the list of guys that have opportunities, and it's the number of bass events fished in your lifetime. And I've fished 282 or
Wow.
283, so that kind of put me ahead of the rest of the guy, anybody else that was on that list. So I got the first spot back, and then thankfully. Cliff Pace got in, with Rick
Good.
Clunn retirement.
Yep.
So, it's exciting. It's like starting a new era of life, a new era of fishing for me now. And my wife Robin will be traveling with me again. We've went 4 years
Great.
while she's been at home, and our other son Oakley just started college at Alabama. So roll tide, he's down there now. So she's going to be able to roll with me on the road, and we're going to kind of start over and just see if we can get this train back going again, see if we can win some more of them trophies back there. And I need one of those blue trophies on that case, and then maybe another classic one too would be great. And then we'll just see where it goes. But we're really excited about the future there at Bass, and the platform, the stage, and sponsors that I have are all aligned really good over there right now. So I think it's going to be great.
And it's got to be pretty cool for you too that Lakers going to be fishing it too. So you guys can do that. together. What an absolutely cool father and son dynamic.
That is
To
right.
to
That's
to
what I
to be
want to see.
able to do that, that has gotta be such an incredible feeling for you because, that time could come, brother,
Yeah,
when he's at that classic and he's gonna be driving around that boat, and
yeah,
you
I
could be
hope
sitting
so.
in it you could be sitting in it
I
with him
hope
that time, and
so.
you've had to think about that, haven't you?
Yeah, we've thought about it a lot, and then we've talked about it a lot, and that's the dream. That's the goal of for me and him both. He's wanting to make it. He's going to fish all the opens again this next season on both divisions and try to qualify. And whenever he gets over there, and hopefully I'll be locking in and making that classic. And but you remember because our age, we remember the Hibdons, and
Sure.
a lot of the
Yeah.
younger generation don't really know the Hibdons because they've been retired and are gone for so
Mhm.
long. And Guido's passed away several years ago, but Dion and his boys are still fishing around Missouri a lot. And but those were the two, you know, ultimate father son team
Sure.
on the
Yep.
Bassmaster tour for all my years growing up. And they both won the classic, and I was at both of the classics they won, and it was pretty cool to see that. So it would be awesome for a legacy for me to be able to have Laker come in there and win a classic too, and be able to compete in the same classic with me. So hopefully we got a long time ahead of us, and the fishing's changing a lot. All the
Mhm.
things are changing a lot, but I feel like I'm learning with it and I'm getting better with it, and I've got more excitement about next year than I've probably ever had in a long time.
I think that's pretty cool that you said that because, you and I were talking before the show went on, and we were talking about Stacy Walker from Prime One Camo.
Hmm.
And your boat's wrapped in Prime One, my truck is wrapped in Prime
Yeah,
One, and
Lakers boat and trucks wrap. Yep.
yeah, and so we've been with her for and her family for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was talking to her about the other day, and I said, as I'm getting older, I said, the cool thing about this is that I get more excited now, even though I'm not fishing as many tournaments like I used to back in the day. I'm more excited about every year now because of the people that I'm getting to work with
Hmm.
and the places we're going to do and film shows and getting on and now I'm more on that side of it. I have been for a while, but anyway, I get more excited about it now the older I get. And I'm like, I try to remember back when I was in my 20s, and I know I was excited about fishing tournaments. I know I was, but this is a different kind of excitement this part of your life, and I love it. I look forward to what's going to happen next year. We got some people chiming in. Here's a good guy right here, Ryan Kirkpatrick. Turn F Laker, take it easy on this here Toyota Championship. I
Ryan
know.
Kirkpatrick, yeah, right, Ryan.
Yeah,
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 he's
from
my
Precision
driver on
Sonar. Ryan's just a
Precision Sonar,
great
buddy.
guy and a staunch competitor. And
He is. He's on the.
yeah,
I don't even know how'd you do today, Ryan. I ain't even looked at the standings. I've been so busy. I ain't even looked. All I know is Laker was in ninth. Did you catch him today? I don't even know.
yeah, let's go, Ryan, because and he
Come
can
on,
that boy
Ryan.
can catch him, man. That boy can
They
catch him.
can. I thought he was going to win that one he was at here a few weeks back. We were watching, and maybe it was at Table
Yeah.
Rock or somewhere. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good people over there. Gen Wong says hi. Hey guys, how you doing? Tony Lamarcus says hi. Jim and Randy, hi Tony. Glad
Hey.
having you here. I just think it's awesome. I think that's so much fun, and I want to go back because I remember watching the classic that you won, and being a guy who loves fish and rock, and back in the day, that's what I did a lot, and that was you had that spot. But if you don't mind, I want you to tell because you weren't going to fish that spot the last day, if I remember, being in like 10th place. Something happened that made you
Yeah.
turn back around and go to that place. And I love when guys tell a God moment story. Please tell yours.
Yeah. I mean, that was a special man. That was the most amazing, special moment, ever in my career. Being a Christian and knowing the Lord, you have, the Bible tells us we got the Holy Spirit in us when we're a Christian, and we hear that little voice sometimes, or that
Yes,
conscience that you call. Some people call it your conscience. Some people call it different things. But when you hear that overwhelming voice telling you to do something or showing you a picture of something you should do, you got to do it. And so many times in our life we don't, and
you're
we
right.
miss out on good opportunities. But that day was just overwhelming, as I called it, an overwhelming urge. I'm running up the lake, going to meet Robin and the boys, and the camera guy from Livingston were all at this other bridge up the river, and I was running that way, and just immediately that voice like somebody sat down beside me and said, "Turn the boat around now and go to the Spring Creek Bridge." And when I heard that, I thought, "Gosh, that's really strong." That's really weird because I've done
Mhm.
fished there 2 days in a row, and it was like the only bridge out of my milk run that hadn't been any good. So I really didn't want to go back to that one. And and I'm like, oh, reasoning with myself, with reasoning, saying, oh, I'll go there later. I'm gonna go here first because they're biting here early and blah 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 and all that. And it said it again, and I saw like a clip, like a video popped up in my head, and I could see me standing under the bridge catching a fish. And then I heard the same voice said, "Do you want to be good or you want to be great?" And it was such an amazing thing to hear, and I never thought that thought before, and I knew it wasn't me thinking that. And so I had just overwhelmed with emotion at the same time. And so I know that's the voice of the Lord, speaking or telling me something. So I turned the boat around and ran back to that bridge. And when I pulled up, it was 70 degrees in February that morning, which is a really odd warm front. All the cold, warm rain and storms had pushed all that water out of the back of the creek to the bridge, and it was warm on the backside and cold on the front side. And that, I mean, first cast, second cast, third cast, I caught one 3 casts in a row and caught a 7 pounder on my third cast. And a friend of mine stopped on the bridge as he was riding by and he saw me. And I told him to call my wife and tell her to come to that bridge because I was not leaving. They were the fish were there. And so I proceeded to just catch one after every single cast. They were so stacked on that place. And so by pretty soon we had a whole galley of people standing along the road and on the bridge, the riprap, everybody was watching, and it was just an amazing show. At the same time, I never had a thought that I was getting ready to win the classic. Never dawned on me at all. I was just enjoying the moment of catching fish. The pressure was off. I was in 11th place. I didn't have a chance to win the classic, by mathematically, I was 9.5 pounds out in 11th place. So I was just having a great day fishing, and all of a sudden they bring a camera now and take my Marshall out and put a camera in the boat. So I knew, I was making a storyline for the day, but not, you still got a long day. You got Edwin Evers leading, you got Randall Tharp. He was a really good local here at the time.
Mhm.
He was right there behind him. And so you had to have 10 people to stumble and me have an amazing day at the same time. So I wasn't thinking about winning. I was just catching fish. And so the rest of the story at 12 o'clock, 12:15, I catch a 4.5 pounder probably, and I balance beam them and throw one back, and I'd hear that voice say, "Go to the back of the creek right now." And I could see like a video again in my mind of me standing in the back of the creek, back of the Spring Creek, catching a big fish, and it just flashed in my head just like that morning. And I thought first, I'm like, "Gosh, this can't be the Lord telling me to leave this spot because they're biting really good here, all day long, all day. I don't want to leave because everybody's watching. Somebody's gonna get on it if I leave." But I did it anyway. I took off and we ran in the back of the creek. And when I pulled up, it was so muddy back here. You could almost get out and walk on it. It was so muddy, and I thought, man, this was a mistake. I shouldn't have come back here. I need to hurry and get back to the bridge. And I heard that voice again, just say, "Just get up and cast." And so I stood up with a bladed jig and threw it out there. And thankfully, it happened right away. Like the second or third cast, I catch a 6.5 pounder. And so when I catch that 6.5 pounder, I'm like, "That's what we came back here for." I held it up, and I put a fish out, put 2 fish on a balance beam, and I threw back about a 5.5 pounder. And
Mm.
so I go back in a little bit. I go back to the bridge. I keep catching fish. It's time to go in. I never cull again because I've got all big ones, and I go in. And Davey Height interviews me at the ramp. Still, I don't know because Bass Track, we can't look at Bass Track ourselves as anglers until the tournament day is over when you check in. So I get in the truck to drive an hour and a half back to Birmingham, and I get my sandwich out, and I asked Robin, I said, "So what place am I in on Bass Track?" And she said, "You really want to know?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, you've been leading since 7:30 this morning." And I'm like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" Then I got sick. I was like sick to my stomach again. The nerves hit me and my tears. I was crying. I was tore up thinking about what if I'm getting ready to win the classic. And then you don't want your emotions to get the best of you because somebody always comes in at the last minute and jerks the rug out from under you and weigh in. So you can't let yourself get too excited and then get let down. So we kept telling ourselves, "I don't gonna get my hopes up," you know. And then I all of a sudden I think about, well, how could all this amazing stuff happen today, and me catch all these fish, unless the Lord was gonna not let me win, let me win. It's
Mhm.
got to happen. And then so I roll in there, and they usually hold you, you know, in the
Mhm.
classic, you hold you to the last five guys, and they pulled me right in there and said, "We're gonna weigh you in quickly." And so when they said that, I thought, "Oh man, there's the hope." You know, my hope was gone. I thought they
Mhm.
knowed I'm not gonna win, so they weighed me in. I weighed 29.2. They thought I had
Jeez.
27 and a half. I kind of reported 27 and a half because I didn't weigh them, and you don't catch that many fish that big all the time. And 29.2, so I kind of surprised them too a little bit. And so then they held me back there in the back for a little bit with Zona and Tommy Sanders, and then before you know it, they put me on the hot seat and rolled the last five guys through. And Paul Mueller was the Federation angler at the
Mhm.
time, and he had had 32 pounds the prior day, and he put his fish up there, and Dave Mercer looked over at me and said he needs 24 pounds, 5 ounces or whatever. He needs 25 something, and he had 24 something.
Woo!
And when he looked at me, his eyes were like big when he looked at me, and that's the moment before Edwin weighed last. It was the moment that I knew that I was getting ready to win the way he looked at me. And then Edwin weighed, and he was a pound and a half or two short. And before you know it, it was like I was in a dream in a movie, and it's flying out and bringing Robin down and the boys down on the stage. And it was like just a dream. You couldn't have made it. You couldn't have scripted it any better, and you couldn't have done it any more amazing than God did it that day. So he would get the glory for it. I mean, 10 years later, people still talk about that classic and that moment like it just happened, you know, I feel like it's still the best classic in history, the way the whole storyline went down the last day. Even if it hadn't have been me, if it had been anybody else, I would have still said, man, that was the best story ever. Cinderella story, you know. So I'm just thankful the Lord chose it to be me, and we've been able to really benefit from it. So that's the story.
Do you wanna be good or do you
You
wanna
won't
be
be
great?
great. Yeah,
And when
exactly.
you choose to listen to the Holy Spirit more times than not, you end up being great.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
right. And then when it's his time and his will, I mean, of course, you know, naysayers can say, you know, whatever you want to say about it. You know, of course, I ain't won a whole lot of other tournaments, and it ain't like God just give. He's not your magical genie in the bottle that you just
right.
call on. He lets you win all the tournaments. So I would have won them all by now. But when it's his timing and it's his will, and it plays into what he's doing in your life and other people's lives, and when he's giving you a platform, and the whole King's Home deal, this is what put King's Home on the map. And if you hadn't looked at it today, all you guys and girls watching, uh, go on my Randy Howell Fishing on Instagram or Facebook, and in Bassmaster Bass Nation site. And we did a collaboration. They did a little video clip today. If you go watch that clip on there now, it was from the 2015 Classic,
Mhm.
the year after I won. And they came to my house and shot a little piece about the King's Home and the boat
Yep.
giveaway. Did an interview with a girl that was in King's Home at the time, and it was just, it kind of tells the story of what the boat giveaway is all about. That's why it was a throwback Thursday. We posted that today with
Mhm.
Bassmaster, and but that's when the map. That's when King's Home and our boat giveaway was put on the map, and people started understanding and believing in the mission that we were pushing, and um, and that's when we started really selling a lot of tickets and raising a lot of money for the boat giveaway every year after that. So I believe wholeheartedly there's a lot of reasons for winning that particular classic, but I feel like that had a lot more to do with it than anything else, because it was all about helping those kids and ladies in need at King's Home, because they, you know, new people come in there every year, every 2 to 3 years, and you know it's a never ending thing. There's need based ministries, charities in every state. Like me and you were talking earlier, all you got to do is look around and put your time and money into something, and it's a good cause in a lot of
Yep.
places. But this is a great one because we've been a part of it for like 16 years now, and I know how frugal they are, how every dollar that we
Mhm.
bring in with the boat giveaway goes directly into those home budgets. It costs $165,000 a year to run one group home with like five girls or five boys in the ranches with the house parents, and that's about what one home operates all year on. So when we raised $333,000 last year, That runs
Wow.
2 homes and a little bit over. So my goal is always if we could sell 5,000 tickets, that's 500,000. That would run 3 homes for a whole year, and that's huge for them because they're not federally funded because they're a faith-based charity ministry.
Right.
They don't get federal funding, so that's why private donations. Like the boat giveaway, and they have a golf tournament every year, a lot of other little things like that. So that's why it's near and dear to our heart, and we do it every year in November, and we're thankful to be able to do it. And I hope everybody hearing us tonight will go participate in it and get some tickets. And this leads us into saying it right now. You go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna take a break and I want to come back and talk a little bit
Talk about it.
more about that because as Randy just um, so said so well, a lot of times when something happens to you and you know in your heart and soul it's because of God, it's not just to benefit you.
That's
He's
right.
using he's using you and your privilege to be used by God to do something good for somebody else. We're going to get a little bit more into that and a little bit more into King's Home when we come back right after this. Located in Springfield, Illinois' largest selection of sports and sportswear, hunting, fishing, specialty shops and services, a 65-foot Ferris wheel, 16,000-gallon saltwater aquarium, and industry-leading knowledgeable employees. You don't take chances at Shields, ever. At Lure Parts Online, we have everything you need to make your own lures, tie your own flies, pour soft plastics, and more. Easy ordering ensures you get your products quickly. You can build all you need to create your own angling success at Lure Parts Online. Cast King, fueled by innovation through novel concepts and ingenious designs, markets directly to consumers with unprecedented cost-effective e-commerce practices, cutting costs by 30% more on average. Cast King empowers anglers of all skill levels to achieve things never thought possible. Find out more at castking.com. Mudhole is your number one source for custom fishing rods. Mudhole is the world's largest supplier of rod building supplies, information, education, and instruction. The best components and brands you trust, including MHX, CRB, American Tackle, Pro Products, Fuji, AFCO, and more. It's easy to build your own fishing rods at mudhole.com. With 25% of net profits donated to faith-based and clean water initiatives, Wire to Fish Coffee was founded by folks who love Jesus, a good day of fishing, and great coffee. With every bag of Wire to Fish coffee, you support clean water, the sport of fishing, and helping others with a better quality of life. Find out more at wiretofishcoffee.com. Believing quality is measured by lifespan, harnessing their unique chemistry, engineering, and know-how, Dakota Lithium lasts 4 times longer, powering your passions and backing it up with an 11-year warranty. Find out more at dakotalithium.com. There we go. Come here. Get in here. Yeah, nice fish right there. Hi, I'm Jim Crowley. Make sure you catch my show, Jim Crowley Outdoors, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, exclusively on Wired to Fish TV. Look for Jim Crowley Outdoors on Wired to Fish TV on free ad-supported streaming TV, including Plex, that can be downloaded in the App Store at Apple TV, Roku, Samsung, and others. I'm going to read you what's on this boat because it is absolutely loaded. It's 2024 Triton 21 XP Mercury 250 4-stroke engine loaded with 4 Lowrance HDS Pro units, boat logic mounts, 16 312s in active target, power pole, TH Marine Atlas jack plate, 2 blue 8-foot power poles, power pole charge system, 4 impulse lithium batteries, TH Marine hydro accelerator, stainless steel fenders, 17-inch General Tires, and Triton custom wheel package. Retail value, get this, retail value over $100,000. And one of you is going to win that.
That's
How
right.
cool is that? As you alluded to it a little bit, but this King's Home, they help with battered family members, right? Whether it be
Yeah.
women or children. Can you go a little bit more into that? Because this is really an important thing, and you don't see a lot of news media coverage on things like this, but this is a pretty serious deal. And so, what is this money helping out with these people in this unfortunate situation?
So King's Home is like I said, is a three-part ministry. You know, they have a girls' ranch
Mhm.
that has all the girls that are anywhere from youth that are 8 or 9 years old up to 17 years old, and when they get to be 17, they go into transitional living. They have 18 to 20, I think 18 to 22-year olds that are in a transitional living area. And then when you get beyond that, you know, then it's considered women and ladies that are running from domestic violence or battered, abused, things like that. And they have actual homes. They've got like 24 different homes in different locations that have directors and people that live in the homes there with them. But the kids part, on the two kids campuses there, they have house parents. So say you or your wife, you and your wife, me and my wife, we would be a house parent, and we're paid a salary to be house parents is our full-time job, because that's that much of a job to do everything, because everything is very structured. It's real military like, because most of these kids have come from really bad abuse. They've come from some of them have been in foster care multiple times, and amazing enough, it's sad enough that lots of the abuse happens in foster care. And so it's a last resort home. King's Home is not the first place they go. They go to a lot of bad situations before they can ever get to King's Home. But usually when they get in King's Home, it's the last place they'll ever go, because they have such a great program. They got such great people that have been there so long. And because it's a Christian organization, they teach the love of Christ first, and that's the whole thing. And everybody there is structured and ordered and done, does it exactly like it needs to be done. And I've watched now for 16 years, a couple years before we ever did the boat giveaway, really started volunteering and just going over there and speaking and doing stuff with them since 2007. And, and ever since I've been there, they're so frugal. They do so much with so little. And I've watched kids that were, that I knew way back then, that were 10 years old, that are now 25, 26, 27, some of them, and I've seen them and see the stories, see them come back to, they have a big Christmas banquet they invite people to come back to, and every year it's so awesome to go and see all these kids that are adults now. So many of them are married and have kids. It's just amazing, all the success stories that come out of there. And I know every time I see it that a lot of it wouldn't happen if we didn't have this boat giveaway and the money didn't get in there. Because really, but when we ever since we've been there with the boat giveaway, it keeps more homes and more beds available, because at times when their budgets get low, they have to cut back, and then they have less room for less people, and then those people are going to go somewhere else or
Mhm.
nowhere at all. So I know the more we can help give and raise money for them, the bigger they can be, and the more they can help people.
And I think it's important what Randy said, it's $100 and that buys a ticket. You could literally go and get one ticket and you could have $100,000 boat. Your chances
That's
probably
right.
doing something like this are better than any boat raffle at a show, guaranteed.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
big time. Yeah.
Guaranteed, and you're gonna have a boat that is obviously well equipped for anything and everything you're possibly gonna want to do, but just $100 a ticket for one ticket, and the odds are in everybody's favor. To
Yeah.
you're not gonna have a lower odds. Like if you were to play the lottery ticket, there's no there's
Yeah.
no it's
No
not even close.
comparison there.
Yeah,
Yeah, really,
it's
so
not
many
even
people,
close.
buy multiple tickets, so you really are looking at maybe 2,000 people that
Yeah.
actually buy a ticket. So that's a really good odds. And the boat, I just went out this afternoon for an hour, and it's got 140 hours on it, and so the oil's been changed, and the mercury is
Mhm.
like ready to go. And the prime one, Stacy's prime one blue that shoreline blue camo,
So bad.
I think it's the best color, best looking wrap out of every auto boats out there. It's one of the most photogenic boats, and I mean, I love that color with that prime one wrap every year. And it stays just like it is. You get to come to Gunnersville and pick it up. I'll take you out on Gunnersville, maybe fish an hour, show you how to run all the equipment, and
How cool is
just
that?
send you on your own way. And if you want the money, hey, last year this kid won it. Last year he was 27 years old. He bought one ticket, and he had just got married, had a baby. and needed the money worse than he did the boat. His wife was not going to let him keep this boat. He just got married and had a baby, and so he told me, he's like, man, I'm gonna have to sell it because I can't keep it. But so I called a friend that was always wanting to buy it. Several guys always want to buy it, and he come and paid him $75,000 on the spot, and so he got 75 grand and took the money and never even had to touch the boat. And I know he was sad that he didn't get to touch the boat, but he got 75 grand. His wife was sure happy.
I hope she remembers that later on in life after those kids go to college so he can get
Yeah,
himself a boat because
I
he
know.
he probably cried.
Yeah, I know. He probably still crying.
So, Randy, before we let you go, why don't you tell everybody where just please go let them know everything where they can find more stuff about where they can find more stuff about this King's Home, and then this will go out to all our channels on Monday. But this podcast will be ready for people to listen on Facebook. Right after. If you join late and you want to hear the whole thing, and you need to about this great cause at King's Home that Randy's doing this for 14 years in a row now, raised over $3 million for this, helping people out, and that's what anglers do, man. I mean,
Yeah,
we anglers and hunters are known for having big hearts and letting the Lord guide our steps to make
that's right.
sure that if we are blessed, that we can do our best to bless somebody else. So, Randy, please fill them in on what they need to do.
So it's kingshome.com, KINGS.com, KINGSHOME.com. And if you just put / Randy Howell, it'll take you right to the donate page. But if you just go to kingshome.com, you can see my name and click on it, and it'll go right there. But feel free to float around on that page and read about King's Home, who they are, what they do, and everything. You'll be amazed what they do there. But it's very easy, very safe, secure. We've done this the 14th year, so we've fine tuned everything there is. There's no tickets out in the park somewhere being sold and bending them and doing all the stuff like this. Is straight up legit. We got 3 auditors that audit 3 times because this is an international, because we sell tickets in 40 some states and 8 or 9 other countries, and it's all done digital online. And when you buy that ticket, it goes right in the computer system, and when they audit it, they push it through and it prints 6 names and numbers on one sheet of paper, and that machine cuts them. So all 6 tickets, piece of white paper, you'll see in the little in our rolling barrel, all just alike. So it doesn't matter if you buy your ticket at the last minute, it's not going to be on top like people think the old way. Always the old guys say, I'm waiting to buy it at the last minute because it might be on top, they might get fooled. But it's not like that. So go ahead and get it early. And but it's kingshome.com / Randy Howell. Go right on there. You can get as many tickets as you want, no limit, tax deductible, and you'll get your tax deductible letter at the end of the year, at first of the year on that. And all you got to do is be ready. So 12 o'clock Central now. Listen, that's the last chance. If you wait till the last minute, you got to get it before 12 o'clock Central on Saturday, November 16th. That's when the lines will cut off on the phone and on the web, and because they can finish the audit and get it all ready for us to draw at 2 o'clock. And so if you go to the website, you can also see a phone number. If you're somebody that don't really want to use the internet, you want to call in and talk to one of the ladies at King's Home. They've got a couple of ladies in the office taking the calls, and they can do the tickets right over the phone with you and send you a receipt on email of that. And so you can get your phone number right off there. Or the phone number is 205-678-8331, 205-678-8331. I've got that memorized from all these years. And so y'all get to helping and spreading the word. And anybody that has any influence with a lot of people, you got a lot of email friends, a lot of email lists at work, man, we would love for you to pull that info off any of my social media pages, and send it in a blast somewhere to a lot of people and really help us, because you never know, you might hit that one person that got a lot of money, needs a big write off, and they might buy you know 500 tickets or 1,000 tickets, or 50 tickets, something big. We need some big chunks to go in there. So I'm excited about it. Maybe you guys will win it. Maybe we'll get us an Illinois winner this year.
That'd be nice if Illinois won something. That'd be good. We could use that.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
that would be that would be that would be a great that would be a great that would definitely for sure be a great thing to win and a great cause to do that for. Man, I appreciate you taking your time for this, brother. I know we tried to hook up a bunch, and I'm glad it worked out. And looking forward to hopefully some year during show season this year, probably most likely at ICAST, walking down the aisle and shaking your hand.
Yeah,
And
man. Look forward to it.
you're always welcome back on the show, and we'll have to talk sometime in the future and make sure we get Laker on here, and
Yeah,
uh, and let him talk about things that are going on with him. And I wish you and him the absolute best. I am going to be really watching this on the elites. I hope, I just hope it builds a great memories for you, great action for us to watch you guys compete. I've always enjoyed your professionalism. Um, and just being a standout and a stand up guy. So thank you so much for taking your time. God bless you and your
appreciate it.
family. And I wish you the best in 2025. And we'll push this out for as much as we can, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, Jim. Thanks for all you do and all you represent. And thanks to all the viewers out there tonight and next week, everybody that watches it. And thanks for your support of King's Home. And I look forward to seeing y'all out there on the Elite Series next year. Hopefully, we'll get one of them blue trophies really quick to put on that shelf out there and come back on the show and we'll talk about it. Hope we'll have another one of them God stories. That'd be great.
You get one of them blue stories or blue trophies in a God store, just call me. You're on.
I
Period.
will. Don't
Done. I
worry.
want
You
to
can
hear
come
it.
back. Okay. Sounds good, man.
Take care, brother.
Hey, thank you. God bless. See y'all.
God bless you too,
All
man.
right.
Want to give out our new code. Hopefully, some of you have been liking our new pages for Lure Parts Online on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. We have different discount codes on there. If you go and like those pages and check out the videos and all that stuff, we're talking about new products and sales on stuff. But if you're into lure making or you want to get into it, there's no better place than Lure Parts Online. Put in that code JC Outdoors 10. You will get 10% off an order. It's that simple. You got any questions, you can message us on social media. You can call. We'll do our best to help out. Matter of fact, when I'm talking about Lure Parts Online, all right, next one, Wire to Fish Coffee. Loving it. They give 25% of all profits back to fishing, clean water, and faith-based initiatives. And a bunch of you have been emailing me, telling me that you've tried Wired to Fish coffee. Hey, use that code right there, Slickfish. You get 15% off your order at Wired to Fish. You can also set up now if you want it delivered monthly. Use that code. It's going to save you a lot of money for great tasting coffee. All right. So, but yeah, Wired to Fish coffee. There you go to wiredtofishcoffee.com and put in that code Slickfish. Our friends over at Cast King. All right, here's a code that you're going to want if you haven't seen the show before, JC52AFF. That's 20% off anything and everything at Cast King. That's reels, that's tools, that's tackle bags, that's everything. What I'm telling you is if you have this code for Cast King, you'll never pay retail again. So use that code JC52AFF. You get 20% off. Our friends over at Dakota Lithium Batteries. All right. They're going to have sales going on for Black Friday, but you can save 10% now if you put in that code SlickFish10. The boat I just sold was loaded with Dakota lithium batteries. This year we're going to have it as well. Also, I want to make sure that you all know that Mudhole right now, Mudhole has a bunch of sales. I said this at the beginning of the show, but if you're a rod builder, please listen to this. For Mudhole, right now they got 25% off all American tackles, CRBG guides, guide kits, and tip tops. 25% off. Also, 25% off all CRB equipment and tools. If you're getting into rod building, go to Mudhole. Just if you sign up for their newsletter, you get 10% off your first order. All right. All right. Barons. So that is that. So as always, I want to thank Randy Howell again for coming on tonight. Make sure you go check out his boat raffle for King's Home. Said it's only $100 a ticket, and what a great guy. It's just a stand up guy. God bless him and his family and Laker and with their safety for the elites next year. Going to be really cool watching a father son duo together. I think that's an awesome dynamic. So, but as always, I want to thank our awesome audience. We couldn't do this show without you. God bless all of you. I truly, truly appreciate all of you watching us and watching my other show, Jim Crowley Outdoors on Wired to Fish TV. We are now in the top 5 of all the shows on Wired to Fish TV. You know why? Because of you. So thank you very, very much. Thanks to our friends at Shields, Lure Parts Online, Wired to Fish Coffee, Mudhole, Cast King, and Dakota Lithium. I hope you all have a great rest of the week. Stay tuned to my social media pages too, because we got some really cool videos coming out next week and a couple other things we're going to post later this week. God bless you all. See you soon.